You're listening to the Into the Woods podcast with your hosts, Dermot and Michael. Let's get into it.
Wonderful chase by Hinshaw.
Cox again. I cannot believe it. Daicos nearly runs out of room. He's fouled.
Jamie Elliott has won the game of footy for this famous club.
Slap for Nick Daicos. He's going to be the hero. The little champ is going to kick the winner.
Here's the Degoe moment. He unloads. Bang! You need your stars. And Collingwood stars just went and wrenched the cup back.
If you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. For Spotify and Apple listeners, a 5-star rating will be greatly appreciated. Make sure you hit the bell icon on any of those platforms to be notified as soon as new episodes are released. You can find us on X at Into the Woods Pod and on Instagram at Into the Woods Pod 10. Thanks for your ongoing support by helping the podcast grow. Go Pies! Welcome to the Into the Woods podcast, brought to you by matsprintshop.com.au. I'm your host, Dermot, and for the next hour or so, we'll be talking about all things Collingwood. Once again, I'm joined by Michael. How are you, Mick?
Oh, about the same I was 3 minutes ago when you asked me. This podcast has been going about 5 minutes, and it was just a debacle. Dermot's performance was...
We had lighting issues.
Unprecedented, let's just say. His performance was unprecedented. So we just had to scrap it and start again because we know Luke would have been fuming. Luke, one of our regular viewers, would have been fuming. So we're a little bit frightened, so we're starting again.
Normally it's me that's saying that we have to start again. This time it was you demanding.
Oh, it was so... I think he might be on illicit drugs. That's how bad it was.
Do you want me to bring the poster back over?
No, don't bring the post up again. But what I will bring up, which I've already spoken about, is I want to retract comments I made in the last podcast. I want to retract comments because they were uncouth and they were unfair. And I blame Dermot for the atmosphere that he creates on this podcast. He very much lowers the tone. The comments in question were the comments I made regarding Dan McStay last week.
You called him McShit. It was very funny. I enjoyed it.
It wasn't funny. It was uncouth.
You showed a bit of personality for once, man.
And it was below me. And as I said, I blamed you. It was unfair to single him out as a player because he wasn't the only poor player that night. It lowered the tone.
So basically, he kicks 2 goals, and you're like, I'm sorry, McStay. I'm sorry. Please like me.
Look, no, I wasn't particularly happy with this game.
You are good. You're McGood.
McGood. This wasn't motivated by last night's game. I regretted it pretty much straight away. So that's it.
Well, he's McStay to stay now. He's here to McStay. Damn it.
Yes. Okay. Should
we start again? No.
maybe a new host would be appropriate at this point. Dermot has turned to drugs, apparently.
Rightio. So last night we back on the winners list, 2-1. So despite all our whining and complaining last week, we're not actually in a bad position overall. We went into the night at the selection table, bringing back Darcy Moore, who we'll touch on later, Jeremy Howe, and probably someone else who I haven't written down because we had 3 ins. How could I forget? Oscar Steene. We'll talk about him later too. But to start this pod, I want to talk about the 3 outs quickly. Parker, our boy Ed Allen, and Jack Buller. Heading into Friday night, what were your feelings towards dropping those 3 kids?
I wasn't happy. I was just thinking, what do Membrey and McStay need to do to get dropped? As it turns out, they were pretty good, but that was, obviously we moved the ball a hell of a lot better than we did in previous weeks. So it might have been unfair on them, as I said earlier on with the comment I made.
Please like me, McStay.
Yes, very good. Initially I wasn't happy. And I repeat my comments from last week. I want to see if Parker and Allen can make it because I think they're part of the core of the future, those 2 guys. And we need to determine this year whether they can be that or not. And to do that, it might mean like Parker's been good actually, so I'm not sure why he was dropped.
Yeah.
Allen's been average, but he hasn't been given CBAs at all. Whereas people like Lipinski's been given CBAs, even a couple
We
of
had 12
CBAs.
plays in the CBAs last night. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
exactly. So I'd like to see him given a chance in his preferred role. So I was a bit disappointed, basically, when I saw that all three of them were dropped.
Well, you thought you were bad talking about McShit. Go back to our panel show and Andreas
Oh
calling
yes,
Ed Allen a potato.
yeah. He lost me, Andreas, when he mentioned Markov and Will Hoskin Elliott as preferred candidates
I
if they were
mean,
still
yeah.
there.
I mean, I think
At that point he lost me.
I think we did the right thing in dropping him in terms of, like I said in our last podcast, it's either we play him in his right position or we drop him altogether. I would have preferred to see him get a go in the guts, CBA midfielder. But my second preference would have been him not play at all because we know he just isn't up to it as a wingman or a halfback or a half forward or whatever.
Well, not at the moment. He's not. He's
Well, no,
sidelined.
not at the moment. So it was just, for me, it was just, yeah, a pretty 50-50 choice, and they chose to drop him, which it's
Well,
disappointing, but yeah, it's better than
Well,
playing him out of position, I guess.
that's a good segue. We'll get to the game, but Long will probably be outed.
Yeah.
Good chance he'll be outed. Who comes in for him? Allen, Anderson,
Well,
Anderson, Andrew Anderson,
well,
maybe.
Pendlebury won't be there either. So
Pendlebury won't be there.
there's
Yes.
plenty of CBAs up for grabs. Geordie was actually a leading CBA player last night in terms of midfielders with 17. So I've been calling. He's been pretty low on the list. So it's not like he's going to be the guy to jump in because he already had a hell of a lot. So there isn't really an obvious guy. Maybe Josh Daicos still isn't getting many CBAs as I thought he would. I thought he would be back in the midfield full time last night because of the inclusions of Howe and Moore. The only player that we dropped from our backline was Will Parker. Something naturally one other defender has to slip out, and I thought it would be either Josh Daicos or Perryman. As it turns out, it was neither. I don't really know what happened. We guess we just went in with 8 defenders and rotated them. But so potentially Josh Daicos could be someone that fits into that midfield. But yeah, there isn't anyone else really screaming out. So this could be the perfect opportunity for Ed to come in and play his natural position against a great midfield. If he plays well against Brisbane as a CBA midfielder, then that's going to be a huge boost in confidence for him, I reckon.
Yeah, I just don't think they'll do it. He'll be lucky to get his place back, let alone get any CBAs. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying you're right. I'd like to see him back in the side and getting his fair share in there. But
I'm looking at the CBAs from last night. So other than the two rucks, sorry, Nick Daicos was that leading CBA player, not Dagoe. He had 20. Dagoe had 17. Then it drops dramatically after that. Bo McCreary 9, Pendlebury 9, and Long 8. So there we go. There's what's that? It's bloody 17 CBAs between Pendlebury and Long that could be missing. Perryman slipped in for 3, Crisp 2, Schultz 2, Houston 1, Lipinski 1. So if we get rid of the CBAs in terms of like guys like Lipinski, Houston, Schultz, there's 4 CBAs. Crisp, there's 6 CBAs. Then, chuck in the extra 17 between Pendlebury and Long, where there's over 20 CBAs up for grabs. That is just a perfect opportunity to give Ed Allen a go and say, full-time mid, top 3 midfielder, top 4 midfielder. He should be sitting alongside Geordie, Nick, and Bo McCreary, I reckon, in that role, and potentially Josh Daicos too.
Well, I heard McRae interviewed on Channel 7 last night, and he admitted that he didn't give McCreary or DeGoey enough CBAs against Adelaide. He regretted that. So
God,
that's probably...
McCreary looks good in there, doesn't he? My only issue with McCreary is it always looks like he's about to do something that's just going to blow the game apart, and it never quite comes off, does it? It's just whether it's his fault or someone else stuffing up on the other end. But he excites me. Like, I think he's someone that we just need to keep on going with in the midfield.
Right. And talk. Well, we might as well start talking about Oscar Steene now.
Oh no, we'll quickly touch while we're talking about the guys that were dropped. I'd like to get your thoughts on Bullock. That was a big talk. Well, no, this was a good. Well, we're talking about the drop players. This was a good. This was a big story heading into the game. Jack Buller. We got him in from Sydney. He only played the 2 games. Did absolutely nothing. I don't think he even kicked the goal in that time. But I think the popular opinion was heading into selection night on Thursday that he would be the one that's safe out of the three tours due to the fact that he hadn't really had a good opportunity. He's still learning the system
Yeah.
and whatnot. Was that a bit of a shock? I know that we've got history of dropping these kids and backing in the senior players, but seeing as though we targeted him from Sydney, I really thought that it might be a little bit different that would want to get games into
Yeah.
him. It was surprising. I'm not sure how
Yeah.
he went into VFL. I haven't actually looked at that. Where's our mate Serge? He normally sends in our VFL report. Come on, Serge, lift your game a bit, mate. Yeah.
Um,
How do you feel about that heading into the night? I know in hindsight now says it was the right decision, but going
yeah,
into the
yeah.
night,
Well, as I said before, I didn't want any of those three dropped. I think you just have to, like, as for somebody who is apparently a very good development coach, he doesn't seem to be doing a lot of developing in his time at Collingwood. I know they've won a premiership, been in two prelims.
fly that is,
So,
is it?
well, yeah. Who else
Yeah.
am I talking
Well, you
about?
didn't. Well, yeah, you didn't say anyone's name.
Ca-
You
Ca-
just said he.
Yeah,
We
Dan,
could.
my next door neighbour, Dan. I'm a bit disappointed in his development skills. Yeah, McRae, of course. Now you throw me with your stupid comment. I can't remember where I was going. Yeah, yeah. I understand we've won a premiership, and who he says. I understand we've won a premiership and got to two prelims. So you obviously keep with the core of those sides, but you still have to develop around the edges of any side, premiership or not. And he doesn't do a lot of that. Doesn't do a lot of developing of the young guys,
Well,
from what I can see.
I'll do your
Yeah.
job for you, Serge. I've got the VFL stats here. So Jack Buller, 1 goal, one. So not great goal wise, but he had quite a bit of the ball. 18 disposals, 12 kicks, 6 handballs, 5 marks, 3 tackles, 5 hit outs. And then while we're at it, Charlie West kicked 2 goals, as did Noah House. So he's kind of the forgotten man. I thought he was playing centre half back, so it looks like he swung back forward based off that. 2 goals, two. And while we're at it, there we go. Our boy Ed Allen tops the disposals, 29 disposals, 7 tackles. Don't have clearances or anything like that, but I'm assuming he was back in the guts. And
Yeah.
looking at these up, Swadley, the 25, Jacob Ryan, 25, Sullivan, 22, Angry Anderson, 20 and a goal. So yeah, there's a few names. So if Long is out, before we get to Oscar Steene, because this is going to be, we'll probably talk about him for a while. We're recording this at 8:38 a.m. on Saturday morning, so the news about Ned Long, it hasn't come out yet. But if he is suspended, and I think it's very 50-50 on whether he is, who is going to come in? Is it as obvious as Ed Allen, or are we going to go down maybe a Sullivan, who I'm not a huge fan of, or a Angry Anderson? They're probably the three guys, aren't they? That would probably be competing for that spot.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose you could move the magnets and bring Parker back in and move things around. But
Well,
I
how
know.
did he go? Oh, sorry, keep him talking.
Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say.
No, I
So,
just said how did he go? And I'm looking for his
yeah.
stats. He didn't play. Yeah.
Obviously, for the two positions that look like are going to be up for grab, yeah, yeah. Those four: Anderson, Allen, Parker would be the three who would be at the very front of the list. You'd reckon?
I mean, I really like Angry Anderson. I'd love to see him get a go this year. He was the guy I mentioned in Swoop Luke's video as being the best first year player. He was my tip. So I'm really keen to see him get a go. But I'll still be a little bit pissed if he comes straight into the team, becomes the CBA midfielder before Ed Allen is even given a chance. That would be disappointing. He deserves the chance, Ed. But anyway,
But having said all that, Long actually, that was one of Long's better games for quite a while. I know he played well in the final last year, but of his last 15 games, I thought he played pretty well last night. I'm not sure what his stats were at the end. I think he might have gotten to only the high, probably, I don't think he cracked 20 possessions, but he looked better. He took a couple of contested marks, had a couple of shots on goal. So he's getting into the right positions, kicked a goal, missed one. Yeah, I thought he looked better. So I can't see him getting off that charge though. I think Oliver hammed it up a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was off the ball and he hit him in the head. So,
also it's Oliver. Surely,
yes.
surely that should just be allowed.
It would be taken into account, no doubt, that it was Oliver.
Well, did you know? I'm not sure if we've spoken about this. Maybe we have, maybe we haven't. Clayton Oliver
when we were trying to recruit him in the off season, did you know that when he went over to Sydney, obviously first to talk to GWS, basically made up his mind straight away. He committed to talk to Collingwood, then refused to answer any calls. So when Craig McRae came out and said he's a hard man to get a hold of, and we were quite critical of that, saying why would you say that when we're trying to recruit someone? I think by that point it was too far gone. I think he was having a dig because he knew there was no chance we were going to get him because he wouldn't answer our calls. He committed to joining us and then just refused to speak to us. So that really shows the character of the bloke. I'm glad. Honestly, he's not even. I'm glad that we don't have him, to be honest. Like if
he's a difficult character. That's okay. It's not very difficult characters.
Would you rather him?
It's boring if everybody was always nice.
Who's he ahead of?
Being nice all the time. We need some difficult characters.
Who's he ahead of in our midfield when you got guys like Josh Daicos that can't get CBAs? Like he's not. We would want Bo McCreary in there before him. We would want Geordie and Nick ahead of him.
I'd want him. I'd want him at the club. Not sure where he fits in.
Well, he can't play anywhere other than midfield.
Considering what you had to give to get him, I'd want him.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, we've waited too long to talk about this because this is the news story of almost a year, you could say. Like this could change everything.
This isn't going to be the BMWs again, is it?
No. This is serious. This is Oscar Steene. This is the BMWs. I tell you what, with Buller and West running around the VFL, it's got one wheel left at the moment.
Yes, very good.
But yes, Oscar Steene. I will give credit to the Grubman. The Grubman was the first one to say let's get him in the team. I think it was in our January or February panel show. He was really keen to develop him alongside Cameron in case something happened to Cameron. At least he would have that AFL experience, and I think he's gonna get that AFL experience. That man should not be out of the team.
You're not getting seduced by hype again, are you, Dermot? You're very quickly, you get carried away very quickly on hype. Now, he's played one game, he played well, and he's got a good leap on him. We still lost centre clearances, my ad, even though we kicked 4 goals from centre clearances.
Yeah, that was probably a lot to do with Darcy Cameron.
Yeah, overall, we lost centre clearances. So let's just...
I would like to see the stats from when he was in the centre, though. Just him. How many we won, centre clearances we won of him. Because I think we kicked like 3 or 4 centre clearance goals off the back of Oscar Steene. That first hit out down Nick Daicos' throat, you knew straight away we've got something special after that. And it wasn't based off that one moment. It's based off this whole preseason. The ruck rule changes, then what we saw throughout the preseason, especially that first game against the Giants. We were talking him up at that point. We were saying he looks incredible in the centre bounce. Around the ground, like he's a beautiful mark as well. Maybe around the ground ruck work, that probably isn't his strength, and that's when Darcy Cameron's still going to play an important role for us. I'm about to say something incredibly outrageous for a first game.
Let's start the pot again.
By the end of the season, he could be the best CBA ruckman in the competition. And I'm getting, in terms of just his ruck craft, and nothing but his ruck craft in the CBAs. Okay. And there's just something about him that just feels like he's the next Nick Natanui in terms of the leap.
Jesus Christ. No, let's start the pot again, please. This is terrible.
I'm not joking. I am not joking. Look, we're
here. When I come to watch the pod later, and as we know, I love watching myself. It's at this point I'm going to turn it off.
Michael, we're here to make big calls occasionally. We're not here on the podcast to play it safe and boring. Otherwise, no one will listen to us.
You've got no credibility when it comes to the ruck position and commenting on the ruck position. This is the guy who wanted Charlie West, who was 14 at the time, to be our second ruckman. Okay? No credibility, Dermot.
All I was saying was, this was last year. This isn't a more recent, very early last year. West. I was just saying that I think it was after McStay got injured.
Let's put Charlie West up against Max Scorn. He would tear into shreds.
Charlie West did ruck work in his junior football.
As a 14-year-old. Okay, that's what
as a 17, 18-year-old. Anyway, move on. We're talking about Oscar Steene. So our weakness is obviously clearance. It has been for the best part of 2 years. Centre clearance. We struggle in that area. This could change absolutely everything for us. Like I said, this is the exact type of player that we needed. I just need to find. I want to see a good balance between him and Cameron in terms of Cameron's our reigning best and fairest winner, and he is close to the best ruckman in the competition. He's an absolute gun. Last night, I felt like it wasn't anywhere close to his best game, and a part of me is a bit worried that maybe as good as what Oscar Steene was, it's going to take away from Cameron a little bit. Now, it might have just been the type of game. It might have been the ground at Marvel. I want to see Oscar Steene as our main CBA ruck with that beautiful leap and ruck craft. And I want to see Darcy Cameron play to his strengths. I still want to see him sitting behind the ball and intercepting because he's the best intercept mark in the competition for a ruckman. We need him to still be playing to his strengths. He needs to be our main ruckman around the ground still. And we need to make sure he's in the game as much as possible. He can't be playing a second role to Oscar Steene. They need to be playing an equally as important role and playing to their strengths. And of course, the good thing about both of these guys is they can push forward and take a clunk and kick a goal. We saw Oscar Steene. That was he set that inside 50 up with his ruck craft in the CBA that I think eventually got to Schultz. He then sprints forward, goes to the goal square. Schultz doesn't make the distance. He's there to clunk the mark. It was just all set up by Oscar Steene. It was his night. He's the story. It's the best news story of the year so far for Collingwood. It's just I want to see Cameron still at his best. So that's my little watch. Is how is Darcy going to perform in the next few weeks?
So there's the title of the pod. You're trying to come up with the title of the pod last night. There it is.
What?
Nick Steene.
Who?
Nick Steene. N-I-C Steene. Nick Nat.
No.
Yes.
That's very...
the new Nick Nat, Nick Steene. I can see it now.
But do you not see...
Hell.
Do you not see...
I don't see Nick Nat. No, I don't see Nick Nat.
I think he's the best leaping ruckman in the centre square since Nick Nat. He is.
Well, no, he's the best leaping ruckman I've seen at Collingwood for I don't know how long. Jolly was a great ruckman, but he wasn't so much a leaping ruckman. So we haven't really had a leaping ruckman. I'm just trying to think of any type.
I think it was...
Josh Fraser was a bit of a leaper, wasn't a great...
Yeah, I was about to say, so a page last night on Twitter I saw said that Oscar Steene's given them Josh Fraser vibes from his first couple of years when he came in.
Yeah, and until he did his knee in that stupid state game. But anyway, so probably since Josh Fraser. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But anyway, one game, I wouldn't get too excited.
Wouldn't get too excited. So when can we get excited? You know, sometimes you can get excited in sport, Michael. You can get excited in sport.
I've spoken to you about this before. You're not to get excited.
All right. Anyway, we'll move on because Michael clearly doesn't like Oscar.
I'm just waiting to see what you know me. I need a big sample size of anything. When we talked about Naz the other week and Darcy, who's the Footscray guy? Luke Darcy. Those guys, I need to see a big sample size. People are putting these guys.
Sam Darcy, Nick.
Sam Darcy, Luke's his dad. Of course, we all know. Everyone was putting these guys at the very pointy end of the best players in the league. Like some are like 1 and 2 and 3. Absolute nonsense.
Yeah, because the spots are reserved for Chad Warner and Max Holmes, aren't they?
You need it. Well, they've got a whole lot of bigger body of work than these guys. Like Chad Waters played well in a couple of grand finals. So don't give me that nonsense.
Max Holmes has played more good football than Nazaya.
These guys, Naz and Darcy, they'd be lucky to be in the top 20. They just haven't got the body of work behind them. And the same thing so that's why
such an awful call.
That's why I'm not getting excited about the likes of Sting. Let's just wait and see. Anyway,
you lack knowledge sometimes, Mick, in terms of football for outside of Collingwood, and you just
I lack knowledge, do I?
This is why you should.
The man who wanted Charlie West as our second ruckman.
Just stick to Collingwood. Okay, you watch Collingwood every week. You clearly don't know anything about the other teams. If you don't think Nazaya and Sam Darcy are in the top 20 players in the comp. But Chad Warner was a top 5 player.
Yeah, no, you're quite right. I'm just going to lap up the well of your knowledge, Dermot. I'm just going to drink at the well of your knowledge.
We'll move on to the key forward. So now with Oscar Steene moving in, it meant that one of the big threes had to move out. Thank God for that. It was Jack Buller, and both Membrey and McStay, as we touched on earlier, played their role. And in fairness, I've been very critical of both of those guys, especially McStay, over the last few weeks, as has a lot of Collingwood supporters, including you, Mick. I think it was a bit unfair to call him McShit, but anyway, we'll move on. But In fairness, I did say that when Membrey gets the ball, he's actually a good player. Membrey's always been my favourite of the key forwards. Like he's more reliable when he gets it. He's a nice kick. He's a good player. My issue with Membrey was he just goes missing for too long. He just goes missing for way too long. There's games that you get to halfway through the third quarter. Oh, there's Tim Membrey. I forgot he was out there. So, but watching it last night, maybe that had more to do with how we're moving the ball inside 50. Because the moment we were moving in there quicker, Membrey looked good. So I'm back on the Membrey train. Let's just go with him for a little bit. But I'm not sold on McStay. I need to see more from McStay. He kicked a very early goal and he kicked one late. He actually didn't do a hell of a lot in between that. So I think we still, I think Membrey, really good game, 4 goals, good on you. He's the first pick now out of all those key forwards. I've still got huge question marks over McStay. And I think, with Buller and West in the VFL, 2 members of the BMW trying to push back into the seniors, I reckon it wouldn't surprise me if he does get dropped eventually. But then there's also the Jamie Elliott watch. He's just not getting into it at the moment. So
for a guy who had a 4-possession game, that's one of the better 4-possession games I've ever seen.
Really?
I think I was actually a little bit impressed by, and I heard one of the commentators say the same, that he just attacked the ball really hard on the ground. He set up a few scoring opportunities for others, like just knocking it out at the bottom of the packs into space. He wasn't getting on the end of any himself. It wasn't his night in that regard, although he kicked the goal at the end. But I just think he was really hard at the ball. And, I was pretty as impressed as you can be in a 4-possession game.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, I don't hold the same opinion. That's all right. But would you rather
it was like Robert Klomp back in 81, whenever it was. You won't know what to reference, but anyway.
Would you rather him play a game like that where he's just playing a role and doing okay, or would you rather him be the Jamie Elliott of last year where he kicks 60 plus goals and rips finals apart?
No, of course the Jamie Elliott of last year.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying.
So for me, it's still a lot to do with McStay and Membrey being the vocal points. Like as well as they played last night, I think Elliott, my opinion hasn't changed.
No.
I still think that Jamie Elliott should be the man up in the forward line.
Oh, yeah, I agree. I'm just saying his game wasn't that bad last night. And in terms of, and also, this might be a bit unfair too. This might be one I retract next week. But there was one instance. I talked about Jamie Elliott hitting the packs hard. In the third quarter, Daicos took a very obvious sideward step when confronted by GWS guy coming the other way. I think he was just trying to be tricky. I think he was just trying to scoop the ball out. So he had space then but it just didn't look good.
No.
Laverde, I think it was. He just got his body behind the ball and ran straight through it. And Daicos took a step to his left. And it just didn't look good.
I agree that it didn't look good, but that was I straight away thought he didn't pussy out of that contest. He was just trying to be a little bit fancy and I think tap the ball over his head or something.
Yeah, I think he was trying to tap the ball off to the side and then he could go over it and go forward. But I just think you have to go full ball at that, just as a sign, if not anything else.
Before we move on from the McStay Membrey chat, I just want to note, and this isn't me trying to take anything away from these two players. Like I said, I was very impressed with Tim Membrey. Jack Buckley and Sam Taylor weren't there. They're two main key defenders. So you would have been very disappointed if Membrey and McStay didn't make the most of that. They did what they had to do. They can only do what they can only play against who they're playing against, and they did a good job. But yeah, it's not like they were coming up against a normal Giants defense. So yeah. Nick Daicos. Now I know Pies Nation do Brownlow Watch, or they did last year. I'm not sure if they're doing it this year, but he's clearly got the 3 votes. Now I think I sent you a message at halftime saying that I actually think Josh at halftime had played the better game. But then that third quarter from Nick Daicos, that was his 3rd highest ranked quarter of his career.
When he kicked a couple of goals, how many possessions did he get? I know he got up to about 11, didn't he?
Yeah, something like that. I'll get his stats up now. He's.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It was a good quarter. Yep. I heard that McRae again on that Channel 7 interview. I'm not sure if he talked about his press conference. He also he kind of pointed out he was a bit loose at times by foot. He missed some targets, easy targets he normally hit in that last quarter, especially. I think he did. He wasn't. Yeah, he did miss a few targets, but you obviously you nitpicking. He played a very good game.
So I'm on the stats now. Did you know that Clayton Oliver had 37 disposals?
No,
What
no
the
idea.
fuck,
Yeah.
bruh?
No, he didn't have big impact, did he?
I'm blown away. If you were to, I had no idea. If you were to say to me, how many did Clayton Oliver have without looking at it, I would have said 22, 23 maybe.
Yeah, I would have said that. Yeah.
That is the worst 37 disposal game I've ever seen. I'm so glad we don't have this guy.
There was a few
spud.
A few Adam Treloar mid-30 possession games that were pretty bad, I remember. Kicking them up the chimney.
Yeah, Nick Daicos, our leading disposal winner, 36 disposals. He had 2 goals too. He had the 5 tackles for people to say he doesn't tackle. He had 12 contested possessions, which is the most for Collingwood. He had most clearances. He had 6. He had a game high 770 meters gained. How many score involvements did he have? 7, which is the second most for Collingwood. How many goal assists? Do you have any direct goal assist? He had 1 direct goal assist. He's got the 3 votes wrapped up. He's got the 3 votes wrapped up against St Kilda in opening round, so he's automatically on 6. He was our best player against Adelaide in a loss. Does he get 1 or 2 votes? He won't get the 3. You wouldn't have thought. He might, but players get 3 votes in losing teams. But
I wonder if he got maximum votes for the Copeland last night. Wonder how. That's a story we won't go away. Lord, it's so disrespectful to Cameron.
I think Peter needs to move on a little bit. Come on, Peter.
No, he's passionate. No, he's always been passionate. It's good. But it was McRae, as I said last week. I haven't been happy with his comments. I couldn't believe he made that comment initially. It was so disrespectful. And then for him to repeat it the other week, months later. But apparently that wasn't the only difficult conversation McRae had to have that night, as I understand it. He had to break the news to the Hoskin Elliott table. And Mr. Hoskin Elliott went storming out when he learned that Will wasn't going to win. He was ropeable.
I saw something interesting on Twitter. I'd like to give them credit. Don't know who said it though, but they were talking about it's so unusual that Nick Daicos ran around doing whatever he wants last night. No one was near him. GWS have got history in tagging him. I know Toby Bedford wasn't there, who's normally the guy, but Angwin did a job in the Zaya the week before, and there was talk that maybe he would go to Nick. He didn't. But the thing is, Kingsley comes down and said, oh yeah, we will either send a tagger to him, Bedford if he plays, or Angwin, or it'll be a team defense, and we'll keep an eye on him, we've got a plan for him, blah, blah, blah. There was nothing. Nick's been left to do whatever he wants. He was left to do whatever he wants against St Kilda. Normally they go Windhager on him. And he was left to do whatever he wants against Adelaide. It's unusual. It's very strange because tagging is still a thing. As someone who plays fantasy football, my premium players get tagged every fucking week. It's frustrating. So tagging is still alive. Yet they're not going to Nick Daicos. And you're wondering, why is that? And someone wrote on Twitter that these new rule changes suit a lot of players. They don't suit your big contested stoppage players like a Ned Long, for example, despite, you saying he played all right last night. I think he did too. But overall, it doesn't suit that type of player. It suits the guys like Nick Daicos. Nick Daicos is already the best player in the comp by a country mile heading into this season. Then you get a rule change that suits him. The theory is that this guy wrote on Twitter, he doesn't think that AFL clubs, AFL coaches think that the taggers can go with Nick Daicos. He thinks that maybe they're wasting a position by even trying to tag him because his running abilities, they're just not going to be able to stay with him. The stand rule, all that kind of stuff. Is there something in that? Because clubs, like I said before, GWS and St Kilda are 2 clubs that tag him every single time and they haven't even bothered. So what do you think? Do you reckon there's anything behind the fact that they're not even going to try? And if that's the case, if they're not going to try and tag him anymore, you may as well give him the Brownlow now because he's going to be best on ground every single game. Because the only games he wasn't best on ground were the games where he was getting tagged.
Well, look, I suspected they weren't going to tag him because I'd heard the coach's comments after what's the coach's name again?
Adam Kingsley.
Kingsley's comments after our last game about tagging, that he reckons it disrupts their own structure too much. And again, he repeated it before last night's game. So it became as no surprise that he didn't tag.
But they tagged Desire the week before.
Yeah, I know, mate. This is post that game. He made those comments. Maybe he's reflecting on a post that game.
Okay.
Keep on babbling. I'm getting a low battery message on mine. Just let me make sure it's plugged in. Keep on going. Talk about something. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, what do I want to talk about? Gee. Well, I'll tell you what, listeners. I'll tell you what. We're gonna touch on Bobby Hill later. We won't tell Mick just now because Michael and I, we made an agreement that we wouldn't talk about him anymore. But obviously there's big news coming through recently. So yeah, stay tuned to the end of the podcast, and there's also going to be another little thing that we talk about. Stick around for something to do with the Grubman. It's going to be a surprise for Mick. I'm not sure if you can hear. I don't think you can. He hasn't got his headphones on at the moment. So yeah, stay tuned to that. That's going to be good. Hey Mick, how you going?
Good, thank you. What was all that?
No, nothing. Just nothing.
I heard something.
I was trying to rush at the end before you came back. Letting the listeners know a couple of things that
sorry, just shut up for a second. No, shut up. So, I'm just making sure my battery. I'm not sure if it's going. So
ladies and gentlemen, this is a boomer at work.
Sorry, what were you saying? You were telling listeners what?
No, nothing.
Nothing.
Just a couple of things that we might touch on at the end of the pod, Mick. All right, let's talk about Pendles and Moore. Actually, before we go to that, another injury that's just sort of been forgotten about. You're gonna shake your head. I've said this sort of stuff before. I was about to break down. When I thought that Josh Daicos had popped his shoulder out. You don't know what you got until it's gone. And this man here, he lives in the shadow of Nick, but you don't know how much you love him until you see him holding that shoulder. You think it's all over. You're thinking, oh my God, like Josh Daicos is just. He was awesome last night. Like I said earlier, he comes back from that shoulder injury. You think it's bloody, he's got out for the next 8 weeks. He comes back and he's looking better than ever. And he was better than Nick Daicos in that first half. I stand by that. His first half was just absolutely sensational.
Well, I saw Tex Walker being interviewed somewhere about, they Triple M last week. They had a panel discussion, who are the superstars of the competition? And they came up with 6 names. I think it was 6 at the end. And so I came up with their 6 names. It was like Daicos and Bonds and there was many. It was about as I said 5 or 6 and Butters. But then they interviewed Tex Walker after it, and they said, "Oh, who do you think are the superstars?" And he said Nick, of course. He said, but Josh as well. He reckons Josh is one of the superstars of the competition.
He is.
So, within the best half dozen players.
Can you just imagine a dark, scary, sad world where Nick Daicos didn't exist? No one. He just wasn't a person. He just was never born. No Nick Daicos, and it was only Josh. It was only Josh. People would be going nuts. Peter's son Josh. How good is Peter's son Josh? He would be the talking point. He really would be, because he's a star in his own right. It's just Nick's here, and Nick is the best player in the competition. He's just amazing in every way. So Josh gets overshadowed.
He's up there. He's up there with
Michael,
Bonds.
stop this nonsense.
He's up there.
I told you, I'll cut you off the moment you start disrespecting Nick Daicos.
No, it's not. It's just. I just think Bont and Pallies must be very. They've been the grand final together. If they're not the best in this, they're probably the best too. Anyway, we don't have this debate because we've had it before.
But yeah, so that was scary times where Josh was holding that shoulder. But yeah, nothing to see here. But it was a night where you're holding your breath constantly because there was injuries left, right, and centre. And we'll start with Darcy Moore. He was the second guy to go down after Josh. Also played out the game. Has since been confirmed by flying the press conference though that he won't play against Brisbane despite playing out the game. Did you know that? Did you hear Fly's press conference?
No, I didn't. No,
yeah, he's out. He's already been confirmed out by Fly. He's not playing against Brisbane.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
yeah. Hey, I got a question. I got a question. Am I going to get into trouble if my battery runs out and we go blank here? Because
why don't you put your phone on charge, you fucking idiot?
No, that's not my phone. It's my laptop.
Well, put your laptop on charge.
I am. It doesn't seem to be charging. I plugged it in and it's all plugged in correctly. It just doesn't look like it's charging.
Why
But
can't
anyway,
you do anything? Charge your laptop.
I think I can do some things.
I do everything for this podcast.
Well,
I spent
okay,
hours putting it together afterwards. You can't even charge your bloody laptop.
Well, I don't know what else I could do. I plugged it in at both ends. The power's on. It's just not charged. Doesn't seem to be charging. But keep on going. I think I got a low battery charge message come up, so it's probably a little bit left. Keep on going. We might just lose me at some point.
Well, you have to come back. I can't
It's in
just...
the lap of the guy. How am I going to come back if I've got no power?
Well, fucking charge your laptop, moron. What is wrong with you?
What were you saying? So,
Darcy Moore.
Oh, Darcy Moore. Right. He's out, is he? Sorry.
He's out.
Yeah. Well, so what's happening? What's the injury?
I don't know.
I heard
it's
last
hamstring,
night,
I think.
Yeah, I heard it was like a nerve-related hamstring, where Daisy Thomas was talking about. He says that everything tells you that the hamstring is about to go, or the pain you feel, or the tightness, but it's not. It's just nerves, but it gives the same sensation that you're about to pull a hamstring.
Well, Fly said that they wouldn't have risked it. They wouldn't have put him out there if they thought it was a risk. He said he trusts guys like Jared Wade. Don't know why, and people like that. So yeah, they put him back out. He got through the game, which is handy. But yeah, they're basically with the short turnaround and everything, they're going to put a line through him against Brisbane. You just got to ask the question: is it all in his head again? Because this is true. This is true. 2018, I think even the start of 2019, that was the big news stories. He kept on thinking he was pulling his hamstring, but he actually wasn't, and he missed a lot of football from a pretend hamstring injury. Now he's been pretty good for a long time, Darcy Moore. That was 2018. That was a long time ago now. And we've had no issues, and then all of a sudden, training a couple of weeks ago does the same thing. Oh, yeah, I've done my hamstring. Let's go for scans. Oh, nothing there. No hamstring injury. All right. Then this game as well.
Well, I think it's a bit unfair to say it's all in his head, because in light of what Daisy Thomas said last night, if you're getting symptoms which are identical to those symptoms that you have immediately before pulling a hamstring, well, how are you supposed to know the difference? How are you supposed to know you're not about to pull the hamstring?
I want Darcy to toughen up a bit. It's all in his head. He's imagining it. You haven't done your hamstring, Darcy. If you had done your hamstring, you wouldn't be out there playing. The commentators constantly, Darcy Moore, that was a bad kick by Darcy. He turned the ball over. He must have a hamstring injury. No, that's just what Darcy does. He loves kicking the ball to the opposition. It'd be strange if he wasn't. If he hit a target, then I'd be saying, them up. There's something wrong here.
No, but that particular action, that wasn't his normal kicking action. That's what looked weird about it.
He's fine.
But so he's out again, is he?
He's out.
Okay.
He's out. So I think so. They've got Oscar Allen. They've got Logan Morris. They've got Gallup. What are we doing with that? What are we doing with the defensive structure? Bill Frampton. We'll touch on it. Absolutely sensational last night. Really, really good on Jesse Hogan. Not sure if Big Jess is carrying anything or not, but regardless, he was great, Billy Frampton. And I feel like a bit of pressure taken off him with Jeremy Howe and Darcy Moore back. That certainly helps him. So now he's going to have to step up again. I think it was last year or the year before on the podcast, I was talking about what an amazing role Jeremy Howe has when he is forced to be the second key defender. Because we're always scared. Oh, Jeremy Howe, now he's not the third tall, he's the second tall down back. Oh, and that could find us out a little bit there. That might not be good. He's stepped up so many times. I think on whatever podcast that was last year, I listed about 5 or 6 of his best ever games came when he was the second man down there. So it's not ideal, but he's done it many times before, Jeremy. So hopefully he stays fit over the next few days and he plays a full game against Brisbane and he steps up and he puts in one of his best ever performances because he's done it time and time again. Are we going to go with another tall down there to help those two? Is there someone that we can bring in, whether it be, or we're just going to go with a Bruzzy and an IQ to play tall like they did in the first couple of weeks?
Well, I can't really think of that. They'll bring Parker in probably, but obviously he's going to be able to, in order to free up Howe to play taller. But is there a tall guy that they can bring in from the twos?
There's Cochrane, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, no, Cochrane's light on, isn't he? Well, the old idea of throwing McStay back there, they won't do that because they just don't. They
Buller.
seem to. Yeah, well, that's it. So Buller comes in, McStay goes back.
No, Buller goes back. Remember
Buller
what I
goes
said
back,
last week?
Yeah. They don't seem to throw people around like that. Like there was speculation that Howe was going to play forward last night, but before the game, he said, "Oh, the only reason you ever see me down there is we're really struggling." So
We were really struggling heading into that game. So.
Yeah, but and he's always been good when thrown forward. So they don't really show a lot of imagination, do they? In terms of moving players around.
He's a sneaky pick. It's probably too early, but Reece McGuinness played, which on a VFL on a weekend, which was surprising because it wasn't that long ago. I was saying about 6 weeks. The old Bo McCreary 6 weeks, which is actually only 2 weeks. Would you bring him in after one game? One game in a VFL?
No, I wouldn't. No.
Yeah.
You want a good 4 weeks behind him.
We could be in a bit of trouble then. In terms of the Brisbane case. There's a lot going our way with Brisbane, though. No Harris Andrews, which helps. He's still got one more week to serve with the suspension. We've been pretty lucky in terms of key defenders missing against us in the last couple of weeks. Hugh McCluggage, will that be touch and go? Hopefully he doesn't quite get up from that calf. But, my gut feel says that he will. I think I read somewhere that he wasn't too far away from playing the Saints this week.
Well, talking about calves, if I can just jump in there. Xander Maguire was on Channel 7 last night saying that he saw Nick Daicos with a pressure bandage around his calf. And I've seen him with that calf bandages before over the summer. So he's obviously got a little bit of an issue with his calf.
He's fine.
Well, he wouldn't be fine. Well, I always wear bandages when I'm fine.
Michael,
I have bandages wrapped around my head when I go to work every day. Nothing wrong with me. I just wrap them around my head.
Every single player in a competition, you reckon there's one player in a competition that's 100% fit all the time? No, of course not. Yeah. They go out. It's basically war for 3 hours every weekend. Their bodies get a beating. Yeah, there's got to be little niggles here and there. Just watch what he's doing for 3 hours on a football field, running up and down the ground. There's no issue, right. Michael. There's no issue.
No issue. Like I walk around swathed in bandages like I've just been dug up.
So there is an issue though, not with Nick, but with Pendles. So I was telling you on the phone last night. This is true. Obviously, for a lot of our listeners know, you and I live in Tassie. We're not over Melbourne, and I really want to get across. I really want to get across to Pendle's record-breaking game, but it's very hard to organise when you don't know when that's going to be. So yesterday, I got my leave. I put in leave for the weekend of the Hawthorn game because it's a Thursday night game, so I need Thursday, Friday off. So I put my leave in for that, and it got approved. So at my lunch break, I've already booked my tickets to the Hawks game, so I'm going through everything. Okay, I'll book my flights and I'll book my accommodation. I know it's a risk, but you got to do it early, otherwise it costs an absolute fortune. And a part of me thought, no, we play tonight. Let's just see how tonight goes. And then if it gets through, then I'll have to book the next day, which is today. Thank God, I would have wasted a few $100s because Pendle's, he's done. He's not going to play next week again. Flights confirm that. Don't know how long he's going to be out for. I don't think it's serious based off what Pendles was saying. But then again, what's he going to say? He's not going to come out and say that it's serious.
Well, if you're worried about losing your money, it's too big a risk to book in advance for any of these games because there was even if he got through this week, wasn't there a 5-day break coming up in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, well, Fly said that he actually was. Fly said he actually wasn't going to play the Brisbane game anyway. That was always off the cards with the short break and the travel. So he was always going to miss this game. I would like them to be a little bit more honest in advance. Like when with Pendlebury, when there's such a big milestone coming up and people are going to want to fly in, I would like them to be a little bit more honest in what they're going to do in terms of resting him and stuff like that.
That's not their concern. They're there to win.
Well, it should
games.
be. They should be.
They
looking
don't
after
care
their
about your
supporters.
travel itinerary.
No, that's the thing. They should. They should look after their supporters.
Should they? They're trying. They don't want to give their opposition too much information.
It's not going to be the difference between winning and losing. The opposition knowing that Pendlebury's going to be there or not. Like it's not.
And aren't they queuing up to take Pendlebury's money? Like if it's not his manager, it's the AFL tribunal. Everyone's just putting their hand out for his money these days. Bloody hell!
So at the moment,
wasn't he ripped off? I know it's old news now, but hard done by, I reckon.
At the moment, his record-breaking game has moved from the Hawthorn game to the Geelong game. Geelong, I'm always here to bag out Geelong, but they're nice enough, Geelong, to say if that game falls on, it's their home game, they're happy to give us that home game. They're doing us a favour, which is great. Good on you, Geelong. But I don't think it's going to be them either, even if he is only going to miss this Brisbane game. Based off what John Ralph said, and it's a dangerous game, trust in John Ralph. He believes that there's no chance he's going to play after 5-6 day breaks anyway. And I think there is one more 5-6 day break in between Anzac Day and a Hawthorn game. So he reckons that he'll probably miss the Hawks game.
This smacks of being his last year. Just when you're talking about this, it's like you're trying to negotiate Nan playing. Like, oh no, Nan can't play this week. It's only a 5 day break.
I was thinking the same thing.
It's getting a bit too management.
There were no signs whatsoever that he was slowing down until that prelim when he did his calf, and that was the first time he thought, "Oh, okay, what's this?" And now he's got this injury. He's being managed a lot more. I was hoping if that was a one-off, that prelim injury, I would still be like the way he's playing. Like we saw against the Saints, like he still could play next year, but if he starts getting a few more little injuries here and there, having to be managed here and there, yeah, this could be the last year of Pendle. So really, let's take it in, because like we don't want to take this guy for granted. He is an all-time legend, not just of the Collingwood Football Club, but of the AFL in general. He is just a once in a generation type player. Like we're not going to see anything like Pendle's. Like he's just incredible. So let's make the most of this when we can. Let's celebrate his record whenever that happens. But I don't think I think after that Geelong game, I think we might be going up to Sydney. They don't want that game up in Sydney. So then it might be the following week, which I believe is against West Coast of the MCG.
Look, if he's right to play and he's good enough to be in the side, you don't let this game, this breaking of the record influence whether we play or not. Come on, we're trying to win games of footy.
It's one of the biggest moments in AFL history, Michael.
It doesn't matter. We're trying to win games of footy. I don't care where it's played. It can be played in freaking Launceston as far as I'm concerned. If he's right to play and we think he's in our best side, we play the game. We're there to win. And this nonsense about the gold number 10, how cringy is that?
That's good. I really like it. I really like it.
You would. Yeah, you would.
I want to get a jumper with the gold number 10. That'd be sick.
I would hope that Pendlebury would put the kibosh on that.
No, Pendlebury's very into his American sports and stuff. I reckon he would get around that.
If he had a gold number 10, his manager would just steal it anyway, thinking it was really gold. Gold.
Right.
Anyway. What else are we talking about?
All right, so let's move down the list. What have we got? Jeremy Howe Ford, we already touched on that. Is that something that you want to see in the future? Like, obviously, with Moore out, it's not something we're going to see I think next week.
I like the idea of it, but because of the well-documented lack of key backs, I don't think we can ever afford to do it, really.
I know, but could it be... It's nice different with someone like a Darcy Moore. Like, he is a key defender, like proper key defender and height and everything. Jeremy, could you get guys like Maynard and Isaac Quater could cover that role?
But he's still our best key defender when he's up and going.
Yeah,
sorry. Let me rephrase that.
I get what
he's our best defender when up and going.
I get that, but let's just say over the next few weeks, McStay goes back to McShit, and Membrey starts to disappear again. And, we bring back Jack Buller and he's just not near it. And Charlie West just doesn't look ready. And we got no options. Is that when you start thinking, well, we've got Moore, we've got Frampton, we've got Maynard, we've got Quater down there. They're pretty good players. Maybe that's when we swing Howe forward.
I don't know. But like I've always said, I think your forward line and your back line to an extent live and die by how good your midfield is. Like a great midfield can make any forward line look competent, like we did last night. We made them look good. And it also, of course, and this is my argument why we target somebody like a Butters and not a King, because your midfield help your forward line and help your back line.
I'll say something else a little bit outrageous. You touched on Butters. Do you reckon Butters was sitting there last night watching Oscar Steene, and that could, I'm not even joking to say, could that be a part in him choosing?
I think okay,
hear me out. So say Oscar Steene keeps this up, right? So Butters is sitting there being like, okay, I could spend the next 10 plus years of my career playing alongside Nick Daicos, being second fiddle to Nick Daicos. So all of a sudden, Zach Butters walks into any team in the competition and he is the number one tag target. He walks into Collingwood and he's like, you know what? For the next 10 years, I won't have to get tagged a hell of a lot because if they're going to anyone, it's probably going to be Nick. So that's got to be appealing to him. Then on top of that, if you've got the best centre bounce ruckman in comp, which it could be, and you got him palming it down to Nick and Butters the way that he was doing last night, he could be sitting there thinking, this could be very appealing. You got Collingwood, the biggest club in the land, playing the marquee games in front of the full packed MCG every week, the best tap ruckman in the comp, hitting them off through, not having to worry about a tag. Like, you could say the same thing. You could go to the Bulldogs and play alongside Bontempelli, but Bontempelli is, 30 or close to it?
But they've also got Richards and they've got Fraser, who's coming up. And they've got your Sam Darcy knocking it down to him. You love Sam Darcy so much.
No. Don't put words in my mouth. Sam Darcy's not that type of player. He's a full forward. He's not the best rucker.
Yeah, but he's going to play a bit in the ruck as well.
No, he's going to be their full forward.
And they've got English, of course.
No. But what you don't understand, Butters is still a class above Ed Richards, as good as he is, and Fraser, definitely ahead of Fraser. There's not one player in the competition that would get tagged before Zach Butters other than Nick Daicos. So this is the right club for Zach Butters to come to if he wants to have a little bit of freedom. Yeah, he's still getting tagged before Ed Richards. Yeah, Bonds might get tagged before him for another year or two. But what about the next 8 years after that when Bonds isn't quite as good or he eventually retires? Like Nick Daicos is younger than Zach Butters. And Oscar Steene, he could be the final piece of that puzzle. He could be. I'm not saying based off this one game, but if Oscar Steene keeps his form up for the whole year, don't laugh, because if he keeps his form up
I'm laughing.
No, so by the end of the year, Oscar Steene.
He's coming to Collingwood because of Oscar Steene.
No, I'm serious. If by the end of the year, Oscar Steene has established himself as this type of ruckman, and you get a full season of that. Why is that funny? Would that not be appealing as a midfielder, getting a tap down?
Yeah, I'll tell you.
Can't you open your little fucking mind up just a bit?
He's getting upset now.
No, because you don't
getting upset because
you're very plain and boring and played a straight back. No. Open your mind up for just a second and actually think about it. No, I know that's hard. I know that's hard for you.
Okay, give me that second. Hold on. No, it's nonsense.
You don't even know how to charge a fucking laptop, mate.
Oscar, it's going to go out any moment, I swear.
Can you seriously? Can you go charge that? Go charge it.
No, shut up. It's okay. It's all right. Stop carrying on.
I don't want to be sitting here talking to myself.
This guy has played one game, and he's been compared to Nick Natanui, and apparently Butters is now going to toss aside all other suitors in order to come to Collingwood because we have got the new Nick Nat.
No, there's a lot of reasons why he'd want to come to Collingwood, but this could be the final piece of the puzzle. And I said if he does this for the whole season, not just this one game.
I'll tell you why he might not want to come to Collingwood. And there's this thing called he wants to win premierships. I'm not sure. I was thinking the other day, where does Collingwood see themselves as a club? The fact that, as a side, I should say, not a club, the fact that they're talking about free, I know there's not a lot of point going back to the draft at the moment because Tassie's about to come in and it's going to be frozen over the draft for God knows how long. But I think that, they're talking about one or two free agents. I very much doubt we can get two. But even if we were to, is that going to elevate us to the very pointy end of the premiership?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think it will.
It depends who we get.
I think Collingwood reckon we're closer to the premiership window than I think we are.
You don't reckon that you get...
I think we're a mid-range side. I reckon last night I was looking at two mid-range sides.
Nah, I'm sorry. If you're saying that a team that has Nick Daicos and Zach Butters in the midfield aren't a contender... No.
And Nick
they're a contender. And Nick Natanui.
And Nick Natanui.
We automatically become a contender if we get Zach Butters. Automatically. You got potentially the two best midfielders in the game. I know it's been disrespectful to Bond, but Bond's a bit older than those two. So let's just say at some point Butters does overtake Bond. You have the two best midfielders in the comp with the best ruckman in the comp in and down to them. We're a contender. We're automatically a contender.
When I look at sides like the Queensland sides, and I look at the Gold Coast particularly, and I look at Toot Miller, who's probably number 5 on their list of on-ballers. Toot Miller. I think, well, if he can't get in, that's a pretty good midfield. And
Oh yeah, number 5. Yeah, because of Humphrey. I forgot about Humphrey. Yeah, they've got a good
then they've got all their key forwards.
Yeah, but they got no soul at the Gold Coast. They got no soul. They're just a plastic football club. Fingers crossed they just turn out like GWS. Plastic football club with all the talent in the world, but it just doesn't work for them. Like, look at the 2019 grand final. On paper, GWS shit all over Richmond. But Richmond actually have history. They have a soul. They're a football club. They're not a franchise. And they won by near 100 points. They got nothing, the Giants, and GWS and Gold Coast don't have anything either.
And I see they continue to try to build this fake rivalry with Collingwood with their banner.
They're not funny.
They're not funny.
They lost Jacob Gaynor, or whatever his name is, to Tassie, and now they're still trying to keep that meme sort of thing up. No, that's not how it works. They're just not.
Didn't the Dogs have somebody really good doing their banners probably about 7 or 8 years ago? Some really funny banners years ago. Probably. Thank you for engaging with me on that, Dermot. Yeah, probably. Move on. Isn't it exciting? Who knows when my battery's going to go off? It's a sense of anticipation. At any second,
well, there's a couple of things I want to bring up right at the end. So I hope, you need to jump back on if you. Okay, just go fix that.
No,
we'll cut this out for the last.
I can't do it. It's in the lap of the gods.
So your laptop's never going to turn on again.
Never going to turn on again.
You're going to go out and buy a new laptop after this.
Have to.
You're an idiot. Can you? I would rather you just sort it out now instead of having to wait for you to.
We're wasting time. This is taking battery time. No, seriously, Dermot, I tried to. I can do no more.
You're
I don't know what's going on.
You're actually
the power's on. It's not charging.
You're pissing me off.
I'll give IT a call while you're talking. Go ahead.
Well, no, because I'm going to ask. My next thing is I'm going to ask you a question. Who are you?
Turn on and off, you reckon? Oh, okay. Thank you. Turn on and off. That's what IT suggest.
Geordie. What do you think of Geordie's game last night? Obviously in the midfield more. He only had the 16 disposals.
Yeah. He's just showing glimpses, isn't he? It's for a guy who's had his famous full pre-season. He's just not given enough to us at the moment. Is there something some underlying?
He does. Maybe he just.
He's not bringing any X factor. He's just when he's getting his possessions, they're just nice, clean, simple, little chip. They're not damaging possessions at the moment. He's got no X factor about him.
He screams of Dusty to me. He just like the late Dusty after his 2017 season when he did it all. Dusty just went through the motions in the home and away season.
Yeah.
I think he only had like a couple of All-Australians after that 2017 season, which is surprising, seeing as though what a dominant force he was during that period. He just doesn't. It's just the moment September starts, something snapped into Dusty. We've seen it with Geordie time and time again. Wouldn't surprise me if he's just going through the motions, making sure his body's right, and then maybe come the back half of the year. I would love to see a full season out of Geordie, Petrarca style. I know Petrarca's now done his hamstring, but what Petrarca was doing for Gold Coast in those couple of rounds looked like he was going to explode this year. I would like to see that from Geordie. But then again, maybe he went too hard too early. These new rule changes, the way they're going there with hamstrings, which is a side note, by the way, the AFL shortened the preseason, make the game quicker, and then all these guys start going down with soft tissue injuries. God, they don't think about this, do they, the AFL? They're just absolute morons. But maybe Geordie's onto something like that. Maybe he's just, pacing himself. Doesn't want to go down with one of those soft tissues. So, yeah. All right. One last thing before we touch on what I was telling the listeners about before when you disappeared.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I'm going to be privy to it now.
Side bottom, the 31 disposals last night. It's good to see him get his hand on the ball. Yeah. To me, I'm just.
He started well last year too. Remember though?
But he played really well last year. I'm not sure if that 31 disposal game was great.
Not the back end of the year, he didn't.
No, that's what I'm saying. The first half of the year, when he was getting those touches, he was playing great. Exactly. Did you think last night was a great game with the 31 disposals? I thought he was really fumbly and making odd decisions.
Yeah, he was. It was a good game. No, it wasn't a great game. It wasn't a great game, but he's getting plenty of it. Which was
he was. I just want to see him closer to goal. Like we both want that.
Although
I'm not sure his 31 disposals is more impactful than Clayton fucking Oliver. I'll give him that. But still not the 31 disposal game that you would expect from a class player like Steele Sidebottom. We've seen signs with Pendlebury in terms of his body. Might be starting to see signs with Sidebottom in terms of his actual form. But
talking about the AFL, you touched on before. I see Hawthorn aren't playing for 18 days. This is crazy. So if I was a Hawthorn supporter, you'd watch a couple of their games, start getting excited, and then suddenly you're not watching your team for nearly 3 weeks.
Opening round, Mick. It's all off the back of opening round.
It is just absolutely crazy. So what do Hawthorn do as a club? Do they do a hard practice match hit out at some stage? Like, an inter-club hit out? But that's not even going to be sufficient. It's not like a real game. That's a long time to go without playing. Whoever they play first week back, I'd be putting my house on that opposition. They're going to be Hawthorn after not playing for 18 days.
I'll tell you exactly who they're playing.
I don't care who it is.
All right, do you want to play
it could be West Coast. West Coast will win.
Oh, I'll make this interesting. They play the Hawks next round. Okay, it's a good team. It's Geelong on Easter Monday.
Yeah, well, they'll probably have lost that anyway. But they'll lose that game.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm not willing to make a bet. If they were playing West Coast or something, I would have. That would have been interesting. But like, this is a 50-50 game anyway. So
I've got more confidence in that than I do on my laptop battery. Okay, just say that
right.
They will lose that game.
Now, what I said to the listeners before, I know you and I made an agreement, Michael, a few weeks ago. We made an agreement and I know that you're not going to want to talk about this, but
that I get to host the show for 4 episodes.
No, that's not it. And
we did make that agreement, though.
I don't remember that.
You just reminded me of that.
The agreement was
I'm hosting next week,
and I want you to stay calm, and I want to have a discussion with you about this, despite the fact that you're not going to want to.
No, I know what you're going to say. Go ahead, say it, but it's not going to happen. This is going to be
Bobby Hill's back. I know that we said that we weren't going to talk about Bobby Hill.
Going to talk about something else. Yeah.
Oh yes, I know. I'm not going to bring that up. Maybe right at the end I will. But no.
Okay.
I know we made the agreement that we would not talk about this guy for the remainder of the year. But we have to because it's news.
No, well, you can see what happens when we eventually get something for throwing our arms around him. We threw our arms around him for 9 months, and he's turned up for training. That worked a treat.
I don't even know where to start with this. So he's come back with his bleach blonde hair and his neck tat.
And no muscle tone whatsoever.
He never has had muscle tone.
He looked like a 7-year-old. No, he was bigger than that. He's lost a lot of weight.
He's going through shit. When he rocks up with that hairdo and a neck tat, like if he ever gets his head right, I'm worried that he's going to regret that neck tattoo. It looks fucking awful. It's an owl. It's an owl. He's got an owl on his neck.
An owl, as in the bird owl?
Yeah, as in a bird.
Yeah, okay. I wonder what it is.
But yeah, he's back. And I was surprised because I honestly didn't think if we're going to see him back at all, it would be the middle of the year, try to get back into the finals team, similar to what we saw last year. I'm surprised he came back at round 2. People are going nuts over it. Oh, yes, Bobby. Yes, good on you, Bobby. You're back. No, you've rocked up the training. I said into the panel show group chat that we have, a lot of them were getting excited. And I just simply said, I'll get excited when I see Bobby in the middle of the MCG playing for us. Until then, I refuse to believe it. No. We've seen him come back multiple times, talk shit to the media. I'm proving you wrong, then fuck off again. So Bobby, he's got a long road ahead of him right now. And I'm not convinced that he's willing to do the work. He might, and I really want to be proven wrong. But let's look at it this way. Bobby Hill, he's going to have, I reckon, at least a month of training, of solid training in the main group.
Then go to
the VFL.
VFL,
So I reckon exactly. 3 to 4 weeks of just solid training. Then have at least 2 weeks in the VFL. So
more than that, I would have thought.
2 weeks, depending on how he's going, I guess. So I reckon at a very minimum, he's 6 weeks away. That's the minimum. I think more realistically, it's 8 weeks. Now, is Bobby Hill willing to put in the work for 6 to 8 weeks to get back into the senior team? Any other professional athlete, I would say, yeah, of course. Of course, that's a job. Bobby Hill, that's a long time of him having to work his ass off without no reward. I don't have any faith. Prove me wrong, Bobby, because I want to see Bobby Hill back out there. He doesn't deserve to. First of all, he doesn't deserve to be out there. He doesn't deserve to pull on the black and white jumper over guys like Harvey Harrison and players like that have worked so hard to get back into his position after a long ACL injury. He's taken playing for this club for granted. So, to begin with, he doesn't deserve it. But I want to win games of football. I want to win premierships. So, Bobby Hill's at the club, then fuck it. Like, if he puts in the hard work, you got to play him. But so now it's time to actually prove yourself, Bobby. None of this mouthing off to the media, which he hasn't done so far since he's been back, so good. But just put in the hard work and don't let us down again. Don't let your teammates down. What's your opinion, Mick? I know you're going to have a strong opinion. We said we weren't going to talk about him again, but it's relevant. We have to.
My strong opinion is I gave up on Bobby a good while ago now. All I want from Bobby, I want to get him back in the side. I want to get him back into form, fatten him up like a calf, and sell him off in the trade period, and hopefully increase his trade value. I don't want him at the club because he'll come back, he'll come into form, he'll look good, and then at some point in the future, he'll let us down again. Nothing surer. I'd rather put development time that's development time. I'm talking about the mid to long term into other players because this guy will just let us down in due course. So fatten him up like a calf, get the best trade value at the end of this year, and get rid of him. That's what I want.
I'll put this to you. Let's just say he gets back in, he rips up the final series.
Get rid of him.
He helps us win another premiership, and he's a huge part of that. Are we getting rid of him? It's relevant.
I can't see that as being realistic. Both as a club for us, I don't think, as I've spoken about before, I don't think we're near it this year. We're not in the window. And secondly, I don't think a player like Bobby Hill, having not played for 10 months or whatever it is going to one game, that Brisbane game in the back end of last year. Other than a couple of his games where he gets out with his mates and plays. He doesn't have a problem with that. I don't think he's leading us to a premiership this year. That's not realistic.
I think I think you can say it's not unrealistic because it's only round 3. If it was round 17 or 18, I would agree with you. You got a full. If he doesn't let us down and he just sticks out the rest of the year, then there's no reason why come September when it's bloody, what is it? It's March. There's no reason why September he won't be at his absolute peak by that point, playing good football.
No. Hopefully just get him into a bit of form, and hopefully West Coast or Freo can give us the number 1 pick, a first rounder for him. I'd be happy with that because at the moment he'd be lucky to be worth a late second rounder. Very lucky.
Now, Mick, I'm hoping your battery hangs on for a little bit longer. Because I'm going to send you something and I want you to listen to it. It's a 45-second clip. We need to listen to it while we're recording. Phone, now, I've got breaking news, which is not football related, but it's Into the Woods related in terms of, I'm sure our listeners know all about the Kyle and Jackie O show and the split between those two. The second most famous duo after us, of course, Mick, Kyle and Jackie O, 30 years in the business. And everyone's wondering, what happened? Why aren't they together anymore? You know, they were close. They were close behind the mic as well. They had a great friendship. How could it just end? And everyone's saying, oh, it's because of, the blow up on on the radio show. No, it was a caller. They had a caller, and they just thought after that, we can't come back after this. This after 30 years, this is why we can't go on any longer. And I'm sending it to you right now.
Where is this going? I'm frightened. I'm kind of hoping my battery does run out at this point.
It is, like I said, Into the Woods related.
Okay.
It's panel show related.
Really?
Yeah, it's
panel show. Are you sure we can't start this pod again?
It's gone through to you yet, Nick.
It hasn't come through.
It's not saying delivered yet. Delivered.
Something. Here we go.
Do you see the fit? Play it. Now I'll stay quiet. You listen to it.
All right.
Dear Diary, it's been a big week on the Kyle and Jackie O show.
Check the recording.
Ooh, Jackie's taken the week off, and you know what that means. When Mum's away, the kids will play.
10 of the most senior blokes on my job site decided to prank me through WhatsApp that I'd won a night with Bonnie Blue and 5 other men.
So how did you find out the bad news?
Well, what I thought was Bonnie said, we're going to do a FaceTime to get to know each other first. And then when I opened the FaceTime, it was old Shano spreading his cheeks on the other side of the line. I swear to God, mate, it was harrowing.
My Lord.
So that was 1 week before before Cole and Jackie ended.
Is that fair income?
That's the Grubman.
That's the Grub. I can see the picture of the Grubman.
But you know who Bonnie Blue is, don't you?
Well, yeah, from what he just described, I can imagine.
Well, yeah, just do a bit of research on Bonnie Blue after we get off.
I don't think
that was one week.
I don't think I will be doing any research.
One week before Kyle and Jackie. So they said they were going. Grubman told me that they were going to call him and keep him on the show a little bit because they liked his call so much. And then the show ended a week later. Poor old Grubman.
So here I am, made an apology at the start of the show and a retraction because I believed what I said about McStay was uncouth. And we're ending the show with the Grubman and a porno actress and Kyle and Jackie. Yes, we've really Kyle and Jackie. We've really increased the tone of the show, haven't we?
Grubman, I want to know that if Shano and his cheeks have got a recording of this, please send it through. We'll play it on our next episode. There will be follow-up questions when you're on the panel show next.
If we can speak less of Kano and his cheeks, I'd appreciate that. Yeah.
Shano, Mick, come on.
Okay, it's Shano, is it?
Just remember where you came from, Grubman. Yeah. We made you into the media superstar that you are now. You wouldn't have that type of confidence if it wasn't for us.
I'm just looking at the sorry. Sorry, I was trying to look at the picture of Grubman. He's just sitting back in his Collingwood jacket on.
I tell you, the thing that concerns me with the Grubman is it's a night with Bonnie Blue and 5 other guys. Grubman, I think that needs explaining. Why you were so keen for that?
Right. That's so beneath me. I can't believe I'm listening to that.
Rightio, tips for Brisbane. You made it. Your laptop's almost made it, Mick. Can you give us a tip before it dies?
See, this is why I don't hang out with the Grubman. Because I can just imagine us sitting in a cafe, having a coffee, and me being caught up in some police undercover sting. Where just cops come from everywhere. They start descending from trees. And this is why I don't hang out with the Grubman. Tips for next week, Brisbane.
Yeah, the Brisbane game.
We lose. We lose. We lose. Doesn't matter by how much.
Oh yeah, are we going to put it? No, not by a step.
No.
We've won our last 2 games at the Gabba. 24 and 25. We beat them at the Gabba.
20 points. We lose by 20 points.
They don't have Harris Andrews, potentially no Hugh McCluggage. I feel like there's someone else that I'm forgetting as well. But we don't have Darcy Moore, and they've got a good forward line. Yeah. But Jeremy Howe, as I said before, he always steps up in these situations, Jeremy Howe. He loves the responsibility of being the second man down there. I said on the panel show that I don't think we're going to beat Brisbane. I like the way that we changed our game against the Giants. I think we're playing with a lot more positivity, moving the ball quickly. The bye, it might sound silly because I've been talking shit about opening round. It's still awful. We shouldn't be having a bye this early. But the bye might have come at a good time for us. I think we were starting to play a bit boring football. I think we needed to freshen up a little bit very early to have to reset. But I think it was still good for us. And when Brisbane play at 12:30 today, like if they have another couple of injuries, who knows? But as of right now, I'm going to tip us. I'm actually going to tip. I'm going to tip us by 2 points.
Well, we've got Nick Nanui after all.
We do have Nick Nanui.
We do have Nick Nanui.
They don't traditionally tag Nick Daicos, so I'd be surprised. Like if GWS and St Kilda, who do normally tag him, don't. I'd be surprised if Brisbane then run a tag on him. Yeah, I don't know. We've got a good record over there. I could change my mind. I'm feeling positive at the moment because we won, but then again, GWS are playing a bloody B team almost. They have a lot of outs. But yeah, I'm feeling a bit more positive, feeling a bit more up and about. So yeah, Pies by 2 points.
Right. Oh, there you go. Close one. Hopefully there's no delay in putting this podcast out today, Dermot. Like last week. Unfortunately, there was an unfortunate delay of a couple of hours in the podcast of a couple of weeks ago because Dermot took it upon himself to single-handedly reinforce the Collingwood supporter stereotype.
Well, you can't just leave it at that. You're going to have to explain. Hopefully it cuts out before you explain.
So Dermot posted the episode and then realised he'd misspelt Collingwood. Oh, God.
We'll be back on Friday. Good Friday. We'll be back, Mick, the day after our
left
Thursday
the eye
night
out.
clash.
Left the eye out of Collingwood. Collingwood.
Hilarious. Yes, we'll be back on Good Friday.
We're back on Good Friday.
Back on Good Friday. Well, we play Thursday night, so we'll be back on Good Friday.
Right. Okay.
All right. Is that a surprise that we normally do the podcast the day after we play?
Yeah, but it's a holy day. Shouldn't we be, I don't know, doing something religious on that day? Showing some respect?
I'll be sitting down having a nice big steak for lunch, I think, Mick.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
No, I'm sorry for all the religious folk out there. I know that upsets Mick.
No, you have to have fish. Yeah, that's right. You have to have fish. Yeah. All right. Yeah, next Friday. Okay. Yep.
All
good.
right. Any final words?
No, nothing from me. I don't think so. Let me just see if I've got anything on my notes. No.
Your laptop, it did well, Mick.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's doing okay. I'm going to have a good look at it. Yep, all right. Nothing from me.
Thanks for listening. We look forward to doing it again next week. See ya.